I'm Alex Williams of the New Stack, here with Steve Wilmott of 3Scale. He's the CEO and founder, and today he's going to show us APIcast, which is an API cloud gateway for the small business and startup. Steve, good to have you here today.
Yeah, great. Good to speak to you too, Alex. Yeah, we're really excited about this. So at 3Scale, we basically, our mission is to make it easy for people to deploy and manage APIs. And APIcast is a new way to do that we added last week. And we're going to show you a bit of a demo through it. But really, you can think of it as an API proxy in the cloud that you can simply put in front of any API to protect it, analyze it, monitor the traffic, and so forth. And it's also free, up to 50,000 transactions a day. So great to take you on a tour of it. We're going to do the demo with APIs.io, which is a search engine for APIs. And as all good API things should have, it has its own API. So you can click here and you'll see basically the calls you can make. We can take any of these off the web page, drop them into the browser, and then make a call. That basically will go through and it'll return some JSON for you. And you could be using that in an iPhone app or anything. So that's very easy and straightforward. The problem with it is that you really don't know who's using the API at this point. You don't have any analytics for it. And also, someone could be hitting this API very hard and essentially take down the server for everybody else. So that's what we're going to try and address. So we're going to go to the 3Scale dashboard. So this is a fresh account, which we're just going to configure the API in. So I'm going to click through and start doing that configuration. And this is what you'd find out if you just signed up for the account today. So we're going to point the system at the APIs.io server in the background. So get the proxy ready, and we're going to basically start to add some methods. We won't add them all, but we'll add a couple of methods for the service. So the first one here is just to get a list of APIs. The second one, just added here, is for the post, for basically submitting a new API, and then we have just add the search here as well. So these three methods, now I'm able to actually control and put rate limits on these and actually track them. And we can also set up a query. So I've just made the deployment here, so we've pushed it to the sandbox, and basically we're generating a sandbox to start playing around with this API. That's just worked. Okay, perfect. So I can take that thing I just copied and take it into here, into the browser again, and make a call. So we're really calling the same API in the same way, but we're doing it through the proxy now. And you can see a key. So the key is now my identity as a developer, and I can issue as many of these as I want. I can also, you can see if I mess up this a little bit and take out some of the things, it'll basically create an authentication failed, so that key that I just messed about with is no longer valid. And so you can see you have a lot more control over who's actually using the API. And so if I go back to the dashboard, let's say we're happy with this configuration, I can actually now deploy it and push it to the APIcast set of servers, and they're basically going to become production proxies for the API. This takes a couple of minutes, so just in the interest of time, we have another account here which we can click onto, and that already has the same configuration in it. Now that when this is live, you can add those rate limits and the tracking, and also have people to sign up for this API and get credentials. So one of the things it does is generates a portal. So we can go to the out-of-the-box API portal. So this is now the place which you could use to have developers sign up to get their keys. And there's a lot of things you can do here. You can control, it's a full CMS behind it. You can control the look and feel. We've also added a Swagger specification to create documentation. So if I go to the documentation tab, it's really nice. I can actually see the three methods that I defined earlier, and it'll auto-populate my key if I go into here as developer, and I can hit the button and actually see what the API does live in line. That gives me a result. In fact, in this case, if I keep trying it, so I'm going to do it a few more times, we're actually going to hit the rate limit. So the rate limit we put in place just to show how that works. But after a while, it'll simply say, now we've got authentication failed. I'm no longer allowed to do this because I've done too much. And you can obviously set different rate limits for different time periods on all sorts of different methods and metrics. We can also go back into the dashboard, and look at the traffic. So we can look at what traffic we've just generated, and there's some also from earlier on today in this account. But this is really the hits on those particular methods that we just did for you. There's a lot more sophisticated reporting in place than this, but also you can see basically what's happening here and also share that with your developers. So that's really what we wanted to show you. If you go live with this, then actually you'd probably restrict all other traffic to your API other than through this proxy. So then you really, if you can think of it, you're just wrapping up your API in a secure way. It's a free service up to 50,000 transactions a day. You can also use it for testing for larger APIs, and then mix it up with the different deployment options that we already have, like a full on-premise API gateway and CDN integration and so forth. And really what we're trying to do with this is just make it really easy for people to get their APIs live and make them safe and usable for people. So thanks for letting us share it with you, and appreciate it.
Stephen, thank you very much for taking some time today to show APIcast. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Alex.
Great. Well, thanks again, and we'll be back again soon. Bye-bye.